My boss caught me on a blind date. And she said, "Why didn't you try asking me out on a date?" From the very beginning, I never believed a single moment could change the entire direction of my life. But that evening, when the sun dipped low over the grassy cafe lawn and the world felt both painfully slow and frighteningly fast, everything I thought I understood about love, fear, and timing shattered in front of me. I didn't expect my hands to shake that hard as I held a bouquet of yellow flowers, nor did I expect to look up and see my boss, someone who had unknowingly taken a quiet place in my heart, walking right into the middle of a moment that wasn't meant for her. And in that instant, everything inside me froze. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unexpected ways life can surprise us, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It truly helps us bring more heartfelt stories to you. I worked at a small countryside cafe tucked between rolling fields and wooden picnic benches. My boss, Elena, was the kind of woman who carried both strength and gentleness in her eyes. She had an aura that made people trust her, talk to her, lean on her. I wasn't nearly as confident. I kept my head down, focused on my job, and tried not to let the growing admiration I felt for her show on my face. She was older, more grounded, more experienced, not someone who would possibly look at a guy like me as anything more than an employee. So I stayed quiet. Respectful. Distant. Maybe too distant. My friends kept teasing me about needing to put myself out there more, insisting I try dating again after a long stretch of loneliness. Eventually, they convinced me into going on a blind date arranged by a cousin. I agreed, mostly to stop the constant nudging, but as I walked toward the cafe's lawn, ironically the very place I worked, I felt my heart banging harder than it should have. My date hadn't arrived yet, but in my hand was a small bouquet of cheerful yellow flowers. I had picked them up on the way, more out of politeness than romance. They looked brighter than I felt. When the woman finally walked toward me, she was kind, sweet-looking, and smiling softly. I didn't know her well, and I wasn't sure what to say. I felt awkward, uncomfortable, and a bit disconnected from the moment. I kept telling myself that maybe I just needed time to warm up. Maybe this was how new beginnings felt, messy, unclear, uncertain. I mustered a smile and stepped forward to greet her, doing my best to act like someone who knew what he was doing. But then, from the side path near the cafe, Elena stepped out with a clipboard in her hand, checking something on the patio. And the second her eyes landed on me offering those flowers to another woman, her steps stopped. Completely. Her expression shifted, just slightly, but enough for me to feel a heavy tug deep in my chest. There wasn't anger. There wasn't annoyance. There was something else. Something I never expected to see. Something close to hurt. Elena walked closer, leaving the clipboard behind on a table as if she suddenly forgot what she had been doing. I swallowed hard, confused and embarrassed. I didn't want her to think I was bringing dates to her cafe. Before I could explain, she reached us with a soft, unreadable smile, her eyes flicking from me to the flowers and then to the woman standing across from me. My date looked confused too. But Elena, with the same calm tone she always used during closing hours, asked what was happening. I felt my throat tighten. I explained nervously that I was on a blind date and that my cousin had arranged it. Something changed in her posture right then. As if the breath she released carried more weight than I realized. And before I could gather my thoughts, she looked directly at me with an expression so open and unexpectedly vulnerable that it made my heart stumble. That was when she said it, quietly, without hesitation, without looking away, "Why didn't you try asking me out on a date?" Her words cut through the air like a lightning bolt. My date had the grace to smile awkwardly, mumble something polite, and step back, leaving the two of us standing there in a silence that felt bigger than the entire cafe lawn. My world tilted. My hands trembled. And I couldn't force a single word out because I had spent months convincing myself that Elena would never see me that way. That I wasn't good enough. That I wasn't her type. That the feelings I had for her were mine to keep buried and private. But she knew. Or maybe she felt it. And now she stood in front of me, waiting for a truth I never had the courage to reveal. Elena didn't demand anything from me. She didn't lecture me or tease me or ask for immediate answers. Instead, she stepped a little closer, took the bouquet gently from my unsure hands, and lowered her voice so only I could hear. She told me she noticed the way I showed up early every day even when no one was watching, the way I always helped others before helping myself, the way I carried quiet kindness without expecting anything back. She told me she admired that. And then she admitted something I never imagined: she had been waiting for me to take the first step. In that moment, everything inside me broke open. The fear. The hesitation. The belief that I wasn't worthy of someone like her. I felt a rush of warmth spread through me, stronger than the fading sunlight around us. And for the first time, I let myself imagine what it would be like to be with someone who saw me, truly saw me. We spent the rest of the evening sitting on a wooden bench near the field, talking softly as fireflies began to gather around the grass. She told me about her own fears, her loneliness, her worry that she was too guarded to let someone in. I told her about the heartbreak I carried and how deeply insecure I had felt about approaching her. And somewhere between those quiet confessions, something fragile and beautiful began to form. Later that night, as we walked back toward the cafe lights, Elena slipped her hand gently into mine. It felt natural. Steady. Like something that had been waiting for the right moment to happen. And for the first time in years, I felt the world fall into place around me. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support truly helps us continue sharing emotional stories with the world. Before the story ends, I have one special request: comment "Second chances matter" if you believe everyone deserves one. And as for me, all it took was one unexpected moment, one vulnerable truth, and one brave woman to show me that sometimes the love we're searching for is quietly standing right beside us, waiting for us to finally look up.